Hey, you guys. Hope you're doing well. And remember that at the end of each one of these readings, I am also doing like little comments and stuff. And I can't post the whole thing on my social media. So you'll have to go to my YouTube channel to get all the comments that I'm making at the end of each reading. All right. So go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to just follow me on there. All right. Thanks. All right. Let me get started. I am on page 12 towards the top. All right. Here I go. In the morning, Robert, Mummy, and I take a long walk along the village roads and slide along patches of ice. The sky is bright blue with small wisps of white suspended high above. It is one day until Christmas, and Mummy is stopping at every church to pray. She does not care what faith the church is, but only that she prays at every doorway. She is bent over touching the step to the entrance of each church while she mumbles in Hindi. Her love of God is palpable. God at all church, Mummy says. This is the longest sentence I have heard from her. We stop at a church and she points the way in. No stained glass windows, no statues, no pews. A small table at the front with plastic flowers and a holy text opened is the only hint of a church. 4 rows of tightly placed folding metal chairs support only 15 people who are sitting and staring at the foreigners. Robert and I creep around the others in hopes of melting into a chair. Mummy gestures for us to sit. You foreigners, Mummy smiles. She is proud of the fact that we are foreigners and people stare at us. What the hell are we doing here? Robert says to me. I have no idea, I reply. The service begins. The minister is a dark, gaunt Indian man with a sweater and dress pants on. No robes or priestly garb. This is a Christmas service, Robert grumbles as he rolls his eyes. He hates religion. He hates a lot of things. Yeah, I guess. We do not even go to church for Christmas at home, I laugh. Your mother thinks we are Christian. She is doing this for us, Robert whispers. I don't understand a word. They are doing the whole thing in Hindi, I reply. They carry on about Jesus, Mary, and Christmas. I know those words. It is a small service, but identical to any Christian program in America I've been to. Even in India, they love Christianity, I say with surprise. After it ends, we file out and everyone smiles at us. The I just went to church smile, the one I have seen in countless churches in the United States, graces the faces of these parishioners. Chalo, Mummy says as we stumble out. I have figured out that means let's go. This time we meander down the opposite side of the village street. She is stopping again at every doorway to any church. She stops, bends over, touches the ground in front of the doorways, and does prarthana, or praise. We walk past the shops full of heavy wool clothing. Mummy bunches up her fingers and takes them to her mouth as if to eat. You, Kana? Mummy says. I think she is asking us if we want to eat, Robert says in my ear. Okay, I nod my head and reply to her. I look up to see an outdoor vendor with dead chickens hanging. They are whole and some have feathers, some do not. They are also alive in cages, waiting to be beheaded and die. I hate seeing this. It reminds me of Mama D killing our pet chickens or rabbits and then making us eat them. She never told us until after the first couple of bites, oh, that is Babe, the cow that tastes so good today. I guess it's all the good alfalfa we fed her. Mummy stops and points to the cage with chickens. She talks in Hindi to the man. She picks a chicken from a cage and the guy kills it right there on the spot. I stand stunned. That is a little too fresh for me. Later I found out that chicken is special for us and they don't eat it often because it is too expensive. With our little plastic bag holding a dead dinner chicken, we make the long, meandering, steep hike up the hill that brings us back to my cousin's house. Shortly, the cousins and their kids disappear. Mommy and I are the only ones left at the house. We do not know what to say to each other. She grabs a plastic chair and puts it in front of the open doors in the sunshine. Bethana, Mummy says as she points to the chair. Oh, she wants me to sit with her. She grabs another chair and sits next to me. The double doors to the house open inward to frame the deep plunging hills spilling into an endless valley below. We sit looking out the doors. Time stands still. We are one mudslide away from slipping to the bottom of the world. I stare at her. I stare at her fingers as they clasp her hands together, and then raise my gaze at the red streaks on her hair. Her body shows physical strength with strong shoulders and arms. Her face is serious without even a hint of a smile. The tiny pierced jewel on her nose twinkles in the sunlight. We gaze into each other's eyes. Her eyes speak of yearning, hesitation, and frustration as she struggles for words to begin talking. An embarrassed smile arises as the language of Hindi falls between English words. Unspoken words are lingering between our two spirits. The words dangle, tempting us to find lines of communication. The connection comes through a glance or a subtle facial adjustment, hand movements, minimal words, and though an almost telepathic communication from mother to daughter. I look out to see nothing but blue sky and mountain peaks off in the distance. Nothing else can be seen through, though we were surrounded by a village of houses hanging all over the steep hills around us. Trying to peel away the layers of years that had come between us, I continue to study Mummy's eyes. Skin, hands, toes, ears, cheeks, and mannerisms. She is beautiful to me. I finally see myself in a woman, another human being. We have similarities. She clasps her hands in her lap just like I do. She seems physically strong but soft, just like what others say about me. She is small in stature, shorter than I am. She looks so tiny as she sits and begins to open her mouth to speak. As we gaze into each other's eyes, it feels as though I am reading a book that shares a deep sorrow. She speaks words without a word. Through those soft, subtle facial expressions, I follow her spirit to a place of truth. The truth of who she is and who I am. There is no hiding from her intense and penetrating gaze. Her childlike shyness peeks through the skin on her face. She is reading me too. She is memorized by me too. You, my baby, she speaks as her face now sinks with sadness. A wave overtakes my body. It is as if the earth moves and my body is shaking and vibrating slowly. Yes, I know, I reply as I hold back the tears. The critical voice in my head races with thoughts of denial. How could this be my mother? She looks so young, so beautiful, and not old enough to be my mother. How does she even know for sure that I am her daughter? Why didn't she love me or want me? Why did she send me to America? As I lean forward more to look into her eyes, I can only see sadness and a deep yearning to communicate her innermost thoughts and feelings. You gone very long time, she says as her eyes pool with wetness. She points to her heart. I, your mummy, you, my ache baby, she cries. I remember that ache means one in Hindi. I hold my index finger up. Your first baby, yes, your first baby. It is a baptismal moment for me. Something so beautiful washes over and rinses away a hurtful label, the motherless label I put on myself. I breathe easier, my chest opens, and my heart feels free. You, small baby, so sweet. A smile sparkles on her small face. Until now, I didn't know what I was like as a baby. There were no photos and no one to recollect. I had always thought I must have been a horrible baby if my own mother didn't love me or want me. I had pictured myself as a crying, screaming, demanding baby that my mother gave up on. You, mummy, 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 and cry, cry, cry. Mummy giggles. She has fond memories of me crying. I'm elated. No one ever shared an experience of me as a baby. It is so strange to hear this woman I barely know remember me as her baby. In one sense, she is an absolute stranger. That is why I look diligently for similarities. In another, it feels so natural for her to be my mother. My mind is still having difficulty wrapping around this notion. Is this really the woman that carried me in her belly? Okay, so she holds her hands the same way. Her mannerisms are reflections of mine, and the deep sadness that oozes from her pores and eyes is a definite mirror image of mine. Because I have been motherless for so long, I chose to forget anything that had to do with a mother-daughter relationship between us. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin. But, you know, at this point I was 31, and I had spent my whole life since I was 6 looking at people going, what is it like to look at somebody and see yourself, or just see your own eyes, your own skin, and the same toes, the same body. And it was just so strange that my brain couldn't quite comprehend. And so I kept questioning, is this real? Am I really looking at my mother? I mean, at that time, she was only like 44 and I was 30 something. And it was hard for me to believe that my mother was sitting there looking at me. And I was seeing so many similarities that reminded me of myself. And I had never had that experience before. So it was kind of mind-blowing, honestly. But it was also extremely empowering. It's just strange when you spend a lot of your life not seeing anyone that has similarities to you. So it's kind of it was very healing to be able to see someone that looked like me and acted like me and that sort of thing. So anyway, that's probably something that a lot of adoptees deal with. Not seeing anyone that looks like them or feeling like they have any blood relationship to anyone around them. And most people, I think, take that for granted. They don't realize how much of that kind of defines you. It defines you to see yourself in someone else, whether it's good or bad. It does define you to an extent. And I think it's so subtle that when you live with it your whole life, you don't know how much it does define you. All right, well, until next time, I will see you later. Bye.